Can you tell us why you're out here today and a little bit about yourself and your group?
Sure, we're out here. We are advocating for Palestine, letting the world know that there's a genocide that's happening in Palestine. It's been 22 months. And the United States is being complicit in this genocide. They are being complicit because they continue to send funds to Israel using our tax dollars when our tax dollars can be using for the for the American people. The money should be going to the people. There's people here that can be using the tax dollars instead of killing innocent people. And so we want to make sure that people are continuing to talk about Palestine. Palestine is not forgotten, and Palestine is the compass of our humanity. I'm a part of Palestine South Shore Alliance. We are an organization of all different kinds of people.
What's the most important message you want American people to know about what's going on in Palestine?
The most important thing I would say for the American people to know is don't be complicit. This is, no one signed up for genocide. No one signed up for our tax dollars to be going to kill innocent people. And our tax dollars should be back to the American people. The message is to make sure that you're reaching out to your elected officials and let them know that you don't support the funding of genocide.
What is your message to those Congress people that are voting to fund?
Stop funding genocide. Put your tax dollars to the American people. We elected you in not so you can be paid by AIPAC, but so you can make sure that your constituents are being taken care of.
There's many people that are trying to say if you're in favor of Palestine, you're anti-Semitic. Could you speak to that?
Sure. Arabs are Semitic. Semitic people are Hebrews, are the Aramaic, and the Arabic. So as an Arab, as a Palestinian, I am Semitic. We have nothing against Jewish people. We have plenty of people that are Jewish that come to our rallies and stand out every single day. Our Jewish allies have been phenomenal. So we need our Jewish allies. Most Jewish people are not for genocide. And the people that are for the genocide, they're not following any faith. They are clinging on to a faith saying that this is what was chosen for them. But no human that has a soul and heart chooses genocide.
What do we need to do in this country to stop the killing in Palestine?
One, stop the embargo, right? Making sure that the embargo is not going towards Israel. Reach out to your elected officials. Call them every single day. Your elected officials, call the White House. They work for us. They don't work for AIPAC, even though they're funded by AIPAC, and they don't work for big corporations. Making sure that we're telling them every single day. Reaching out to your city council and letting them know that you want to be able to divest your money from funding genocide. Making sure that Palestine is constantly on the conversation. A lot of our rights and amendments have been changed due to the fact that it's supporting Israel. We want to keep America free, and by keeping America free, we need to make sure that our rights are continuing to talk to the American people and not to Israel.
What do you think about the occupation of the IDF?
Speak up, I couldn't hear.
What do you think about the occupation that they're talking about in Gaza?
So Palestine's we've been occupied for 77 years. The occupation needs to stop. It's not about the hostages. It's not about the people of Gaza. It's about land. Netanyahu over a week ago had a meeting with Sisi, and they had a meeting in terms of how much oil they're going to get from Gaza. So the occupation needs to end, the siege needs to end, and the embargo needs to stop.
Can you tell us what you want to have to say to President Trump?
What you really want me to say to him?
Really make America first.
Yeah.
Really make America first.
When is America going to be first? When, you painted this picture of American first, Medicare is being dropped, Social Security is being dropped, people are without housing, people are without education, people are trying to scrap by. Put Americans first, right? We are here paying our tax dollars not to fund genocide. I'll tell Donald Trump, grow some balls, right? Make sure that you're a decent human being and grow some balls and making sure that you're putting the American people first.
What do you think about him, President Trump, being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize?
So the person who nominated him is a pro-genocide and killing my people. So the Nobel Peace sign has no leverage because you're getting nominated by a genocide supporter and enthusiast.
Okay, is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. I can't hear you guys. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the sea to the sea, Palestine will be free. Free Palestine every single day.
Free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Every single day.
And I've actually been a pro-Palestinian activist for over 40 years. I'm married to a Palestinian. I've raised 4 Palestinian children. I'm a proud American, and I just think what this country is doing is terrible. You know, like, I've never seen anything. We've lost a number of our family members in Gaza, at least more than 150 on my husband's side. So this is very personal for us. And we've been out here every week, different areas, since November of 2023, since it started.
And could you tell us about how your family has reacted to the situation in Gaza and also how they're treated here in America?
Well, it's been really emotionally draining to watch, especially for my husband, to watch his people get killed every day. And for me as a mother, and, you know, of Palestinian children, to watch the little children dying and starving. And, you know, I never thought it would be going on for this long. And so for us, it's so emotional, you know. It's you know, my husband, they grew up in a beautiful area in Palestine, Jaffa. And when the state of Israel was formed, they lost everything. They were well-to-do landowners. They had a wonderful life. They became refugees. My husband was born in a refugee camp in Jordan. And, you know, they've had to struggle their whole life. And at this point, you know, something has to be done. You know, it's not fair. It's not fair.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Do you know a little bit about the history that was at 1948? What? Give me a detail on what happened in that.
Well, I mean, there was always Christians, Jews, and Muslims living in that area of the Palestinian area. And, you know, I talked to my mother-in-law multiple times. I speak Arabic. And she told me all her stories. And she said, you know, we lived in peace together. My best friend was a Jewish neighbor. My other friend was Christian. We had no problems. When the Jews came during the Holocaust time, they helped them. They taught them how to farm. They gave them housing. They taught them everything. But when the European Zionists decided they were going to make a state of Israel, they knew that the indigenous people that lived there would have to be eliminated. Pretty much what we did in this country to the Indians. So it was a systematic, over the years, of 75 years, of taking the land, moving the people, getting rid of their identity, putting them in prison, and it's gone on till now. You know, but it happened way before, like even 1948. But people think it started on October 7th of 23, but it's been going on for so long. And that's why, you know, everyone's like, what the mass? You know, October 7th. No, it was way before that. it was years and years of you know, just terrible treatment and imprisonment and land theft and whatever you want to call it. So, you know, and with our tax money paying for it all. So
I'm out here to try to stop the genocide that's happening. I'm part of a grassroots group that started here in Quincy. It's called Quincy for Palestine. We started shortly after October 7th, and we've been, you know, relentlessly trying to, you know, make awareness to the public about what's happening, about the origin of what happened, about the creation of the state of Israel, and how it started with basically ethnic cleansing and genocide. There were, you know, like, I mean, the figures go up to 850,000 people were displaced from their villages. I think up to 500 villages were annihilated, and many of the people that are now in Gaza are those displaced people, and now they are suffering again the threat of ethnic cleansing and also genocide. You know, the amount of children that have been killed, I think, is now becoming more than any other war. You know, even more than the massacres in Srebrenica, and it's really, it's just heartbreaking. So, you know, we have we do a film series in the Quincy Library trying to raise awareness about what's happening. And also, you know, a lot of people really don't know about what the Palestinians are going through, you know, the occupation that they've been suffering under, and the apartheid. I mean, so many human rights organizations have called it apartheid for quite a while now. And there are also human rights organizations within Israel, like B'Tselem, that they have called it apartheid, and now they are calling it genocide. And there are many brave Israelis that are speaking out about that. And, you know, this is something that, as Americans, you know, my father served in World War II. He was at Pearl Harbor when he was bombed, and I feel betrayed by my country that we will now support something like this. You know, I grew up always feeling good about my country. You know, feeling like we stood for justice, we stood for human rights. But now, you know, we have kind of just we've made human rights almost a joke. You know, the UN is almost a joke because we enable Israel to do whatever they want, you know? We are complicit in this. You know, they could not do this without our help. You know, they wouldn't have the resources. So we need to have an arms embargo. We need to stop the resources that we are giving them to continue this. For their sake too. You know, it is the demise of their country too. And so that's, you know, really why I'm here.
What message do you have for the Congress people that are voting to fund the war against the Gazan people?
You're not representing us. You are not representing us. You know, I mean, there have been polls done that show that at least the majority of the Democrats are against it, okay? And now more and more there's been a divide within the Republican Party, and especially within the Trump supporters, the base, that they also are tired of this, that it was a lie, this America First was a lie, and it's really just about doing whatever Israel wants, and it's all because AIPAC and the Israeli lobby have too much influence in our politics. Too much influence. They have bought our politicians, and we have to end this. This is not how we want to be governed. This is not a free and democratic society when a foreign government can have this much influence.
So, many in the media and many Jewish organizations that, like you mentioned, constantly trying to say being for Palestine is being anti-Israel or anti-Jewish. Could you speak about that a little bit?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Many people in the media and people are saying, are trying to portray, if you're pro-Palestine and against the Gaza war, that you're anti-Semitic, you're anti-Jewish, you're anti-Israel. And they're trying to brand it as that. Could you speak about that?
Yeah. Well, this is a big lie because, you know, this conflation between anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism, it's just a smokescreen. It's just a smokescreen to be used to continue the genocide and the ethnic cleansing. The Likud party that is now in power in Israel have made it abundantly clear that they do not want a two-state solution. And so, you know, where are we to go? Where are we to go from here? You know, I thought we were a post-colonial world, and it appears that we are not. We're still struggling with this colonial project, which is Israel, that was created in 1948, and, you know, this is not right. You know, we have the means to have a solution, and the solution should be, I mean, ultimately it'll be up to the Palestinians, but really right now it seems like two states it's too late. There's just too much illegal settlements, there's just too much water under the bridge. There should be a one state, a democratic state, where all people can live together equally, not one group under apartheid and one superior. We believe in democracy all over. And Israel is lying when they say they're a democracy. They are not. They are an apartheid state. So one state where Palestinians and Jews can live together if they want to stay is the only solution. You know, we are not against any human being. We are for all humans, but we are for justice.
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I grew up here. I'm an anti-Zionist Jewish person, and I know that organizations like AIPAC, the ADL, the Republican Party, and a lot of the Democratic Party right now are saying that the war on Gaza, the genocide in Gaza, is to save the world, to save us from anti-Semitism. That they're saying there's like an increase in anti-Semitism in the United States and around the world. But that's not what they're trying to stop. They're trying to actually stop Palestinian Jewish voices who are demanding an end to the genocide. These organizations, the Republican Party, Trump, they're bastardizing, they're exploiting the word anti-Semitism. And they don't know, if anything, these groups, Christian Zionists, and even the AIPAC, especially AIPAC, they're making life more dangerous for Jewish people. They don't speak for us. And they're trying to suppress all of our voices so that their version of anti-Semitism, which is like false and fraudulent, stands stronger. And right now, we're also saying that for me and for all of us, the United States is sending our federal tax dollars to pay for a genocide. They send every day more bombs are being sent and dropped. And at this point, even Congress people are putting their names on some of these bombs. So we're demanding that people understand that this genocide needs to stop. The United States needs to do an embargo on bombing and sending bombs and stop sending bombs and any kind of arms. And they also need to demand, the United States has the power, with one phone call, Trump could say to Israel, you need to end the humanitarian blockade. UNRWA has 6,000 trucks of food, medicine, baby formula, diapers, antibiotics, surgical goods that need to enter, and they're refusing to let it enter, and that needs to stop. We demand that this sickness and this evil and this genocide needs to stop. The Gaza people right now are starving. At least 100,000 Gazans have been killed during the genocide, and people are dying every day from dropping from hunger, and their bodies are so weak they can't heal from any other illness that they may have. That in a normal situation in the United States, we have the medicines, we have oxygen tents, we have dialysis machines, we have Band-Aids. In Gaza, they don't. Hospital doctors and nurses and medical staff and ambulances, they're still being bombed by the IDF, and that needs to stop. We do also demand that Massachusetts stop sending our taxpayers' money to pay to the federal government to pay for the genocide. This past year, in 2024, more than $500 million of Massachusetts taxpayers' money went to pay for this genocide. It went to pay for bombs, it went to pay for surveillance, and it went to make sure that Palestinians can't survive. The Palestinians are surviving. This is their land, and we all need to listen to Palestinian voices. As a Jewish person, I'm not saying listen to me because I'm Jewish. I'm saying listen to me because I'm listening to Palestinians and what they want. The Zionist movement started in 1887. Chaim Weizmann said, he's the head of the Zionist organization in 1887. He said, in order for us to create a Jewish state, a Zionist state, we need to clear out the Palestinians. We need to eliminate from this land. This was in 1887. He also said, we need to take control of every drop of water in the entirety of what is Palestine. And they mapped out how every lake, every ocean, every sea would be used to build like a Zionist state. That was like in 1887 and then again in 1923 at the Basel Conference.
What's your message to the Congress people who continue to vote for funding the military and funding the war in Gaza?
My message to voters, to Congress people who are voting to keep funding the bombs is to stop. It's to stop sending. It's to stop approving the federal money to pay for the arms that are going to Israel, and for them to vote to let humanitarian aid into Gaza and end the blockade. They have the power. They can't tell us that they don't. The Democrats and the Republicans have the power.
Are the ones that voting for the military funding, are they complicit in the starvation and the killing?
They are people, any congressperson, any State Department person, the White House, anybody who is voting or signing off on sending with weapons to Israel is totally complicit. According to the International Criminal Court, they're complicit and could be brought to suit. Israel right now, it's been judged that Netanyahu, the entire cabinet, and many of the IDF are war criminals, and they have provided their own evidence by posting YouTube of themselves demolishing hospitals and cities. So yeah, they're complicit. Anybody who does not stand out and take an active voice, and a congressperson who caves in and takes funding from AIPAC is totally complicit. They're being bought off.
Yeah, I live in Quincy, and I'm here today because
We need to keep speaking up for the Palestinian people during this genocide. It's been almost 2 years now. It's the worst thing I've seen in my life.
So, give me some examples of what's horrifying you.
Well, the fact that, so I'm a teacher, I'm a retired educator, I'm also a member of MTA Rank and File for Palestine, and to see them like bombing children, starving children, making children orphans, burning children in tents, just not going to school, destroying their schools. It's not just the children, but like that particularly is hard. And as an educator, I feel like it's really important for us to speak up about that and everything else, but scholasticide too.
Well, Israel claims that they have to bomb the hospitals and bomb the schools because that's where the Hamas is hiding. Can you speak to that, please?
Well, I think that's just an excuse. They say that all the time. They've killed over 240 reporters, and they say that they're all Hamas. So it's that's what they use as an excuse to kill, basically. And even if there wasn't a Hamas person hiding in a hospital, you don't bomb the whole hospital. People have said, like, what about like a shooter? Like, say there's a shooter in a school. Would you bomb the school with all the children in it just to get that one shooter? No. They need to go after the actual people who are combatants, not just kill a whole bunch of other people because they say there's a combatant.
Right. What's your message to President Trump about his stance on Gaza and Israel?
I think President Trump just sees it as real estate. He doesn't really care about the people. And that if he thinks about it as real estate, it's going to be horribly tainted forever. So it's not good real estate. If that's the only thing he cares about, he's something else. Because it's never going to be a good piece of real estate unless the Palestinians get their land back. That's the only way it'll ever be redeemed.
Yeah. And what do you think about the situation with the food that's badly needed not being able to enter?
Well, that's part of the genocide, right? So they've been making it hard for food to get in for a long time, and then they just stopped letting it in at all. And then they brought in their own humanitarian aid place that kills people when they try to get food. So it's just another method, to kill more people. And they want to inflict as much suffering as possible too, as they do it. So it's horrifying.
What do you think is the message that you want the American people to hear? What's the most important thing you want them to know and hear?
That this is not just about Gaza, that this is important in itself. It's a genocide and you should care about it on that alone. But also, if we accept this happening in Gaza, what are we going to accept here? Look what they're doing in D.C., rounding homeless people up. Look what ICE is doing, throwing people into concentration camps in Florida. Like, this is a precursor, but if we accept it there, it's going to come everywhere. And a lot of the things they do in Israel do get rolled out. In Palestine, there's a book called The Palestine Laboratory, and it's all about how they test out surveillance, they test out weapons, they test it all out there, and then they export it. So it's not just there, it's also everybody else. So that we need to care for them, but also for ourselves.